Now, for more on this, we are joined in by our West Asia Bureau Chief, Daniele Pagani, who is joining us live from Oman. Good morning to you, Daniele. Now, this footage that has been released by Houthis at this point of time, one cannot independently verify it, but it does point to a substantial increase in the capability of the Houthis in taking the battle onto the Saudi turf.
Good morning to you and to all our viewers. Yes, you correctly pointed out that the video cannot be verified. At least part of the video, according to open sources, have been verified. They are at least a month old, but not all of them, only the ones showing the Houthi rebels shooting against allegedly Saudi coalition armored vehicles. The remaining of the footage seems to be authentic, and there is anyway no reason to doubt the fact that there has been a massive military campaign. Numbers are clearly inflated. It seems impossible that the Houthi actually captured 2,000 soldiers. More reliable figures place this number, the number of seized troops and vehicles, at around 500. But nevertheless, this is the severest blow that hits the Saudi-led coalition, which has been fighting against the Houthi rebels since 2015 and basically failed to gain any military conquer. They did not conquer any territory. The Houthi rebels are still very strong. They are backed by Iran and they are enhancing their military capabilities. This action, this last military action, if confirmed, needs Saudi Arabia to take some sort of action. We are still awaiting some official statement from Saudi Arabia. There's no wonder Saudi Arabia is not talking about it, because if this happened, it's a very, very terrible damage to its image and to the image that they want to send throughout the world about their military capability.
Absolutely, indeed, Daniele. And now, one of the aspects that a lot of people would be wondering about is the Saudi coalition was the one that was fighting this war in Yemen, but now we are seeing the Houthis taking the fight back onto the Saudi turf. Explain to us the dynamic of how all of this is playing out, keeping in the context that the drone attack that recently took place on the oil processing facility almost, cut off 5% of the world's oil supplies. And MBS at this point of time is also trying to sell a stake in his Saudi Aramco business, and that also has been very, very badly hampered because of what is being done by the Houthis at this point of time.
There are a couple of factors that needs to be taken into consideration when analyzing the Yemen's war. One is, so to say, related to the hearts and minds of the people. The Houthi rebels started as a movement believing in fighting corruption in their own countries. They have a very religious-driven agenda. They are, so to say, very much attached to their cause, and this makes them very resilient. They have proven to be resilient. Furthermore, they are in control of the northern part of Yemen, including the capital city of Sana'a. When they seized the capital city and the territories around it, they came into control of large portions of the military equipment of Yemen, and also the research factories and data and the money inside the banks in the capital city of Yemen. So this makes them a resilient enemy with also a lot of resources. Then there is the larger picture that goes around Yemen. They are not alone. The Houthi rebels have been supported, and there are proofs and evidence in their technical capabilities by Iran. And this is what exactly Iran is trying to do. It is keeping Yemen, it is giving to the Houthi rebels the capabilities to enhance their military operations in order to turn Yemen into, so to say, Saudi Arabia's Vietnam.
Absolutely, and I want you to dwell a little bit more upon this silence, this strange and bizarre silence on the part of the Saudis, because this is, possibly one of the biggest casualties that has been inflicted on Saudi troops, on Saudi turf by the Houthis. Why are the Saudis keeping so adamantly quiet about what is clearly an infringement of their sovereignty here?
This is absolutely clear. It is worth repeating what you just said. This would be a massive operation against Saudi Arabia, allegedly also happened inside Saudi territory. So this is a massive breach of any rule of war. This is a clear and direct and open act of war. But there is a problem. The Yemen's war is not only about military victories and is not only fought on the ground, it's fought on the propaganda front. And Saudi Arabia, with all the money that it has, with all the words that it has spent on the world, global stage, saying that they are fighting terrorism in Yemen, that they put together a coalition, that they are enjoying UK and American support and Emirati support. Clearly, they do not want to admit such a defeat because that wouldn't help their image. It means that under your watch, within your territories, you managed to lose 500 soldiers, if not more than that. Clearly, that doesn't help the image of a powerful state winning the war.
Absolutely indeed, Danley. And just before I let you go, where does this now go from here? Will we see a Saudi response? And what form or shape would that take?
Well, if we are to go by the words of Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, you correctly pointed out, he said in a recent interview that things are not going as planned in Yemen and the tension is escalating, but Saudi Arabia still would like to try for a political solution and avoid a large-scale war. They do not want, according to him, to invade, so to say, Yemen. And also, they don't have actually the firepower to continue this operation on the ground. They're conducting airstrikes, but they do not have a relevant number of Saudi troops. They're relying on mercenaries and allies. Hence, I do not see this going forward, meaning that I do not see Saudi Arabian troops getting inside Yemen more and more with boots on the ground. But nevertheless, something the Saudis have to do. They just cannot keep silence. It's going to hit them even harder if they keep silent, if they refuse to admit what happened.
Absolutely indeed. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Danley Pagani, for joining us and getting us all those insights into what is unfolding right now in this conflict between Saudi Arabia and Yemen. And this is possibly the biggest damage that has been inflicted by the Houthis on Saudi troops, where they claim that about 2,000 of Saudi Arabian troops have in fact surrendered on the back of this ambush that was carried out in the town of Najran in the Saudi Arabian southern border.